with the foundation primer, I'm going to start off by applying this all over the face, kind of like I would apply moisturizer, but I'm avoiding the eyes and the lips. Now with the under eye corrector, I'm going to go in to apply this product in all the areas where there is darkness on my skin. So not only underneath my eyes and next to my mouth, but also any dark spots or blemishes. This time I was having a lot of blemishes, and they were slightly dark in color, and so I wanted to kind of make sure that they were neutralized with this product. So it's not like a concealer where it's just going to cover it up, but this actually helps to take out the darkness on the skin so that it won't compete with the foundation that's going to go on top of it. So now with a foundation that is about 2 to 3 shades lighter than my skin tone, I'm going to apply this only in the center of my face, all over my eyes, my lips, my nose. I'm going to apply this all over the center of my face, and with the beauty sponge, I'm going to now press this in to blend into my skin as though it was foundation that actually matches my skin, but it doesn't. I do this because I want the center of my face to be a little bit brighter than the rest of my face. I like to do this because it's kind of like amplified highlighting. I'm going to highlight a little later with concealer and stuff, but I like to do this trick as well, just to keep the center of my face kind of bright. So even though this foundation does not match my skin, you'll notice a little later when we put on the rest of the products that it eventually does begin to match my skin. Now I'm going to apply the foundation onto my skin that does match my skin tone. And I'm going to apply this around the perimeter of my face and then blend it out with the fat part or the bottom of the beauty sponge. So now as I'm focusing on the perimeter of my face, I'm going to make sure to blend that foundation into my ear and then also underneath my neck and underneath my jawline by just kind of pulling that color and down and pressing it just slightly, kind of what's the remainder that's left on the sponge onto my neck and underneath my jaw, so that when I turn my face, throughout the day, you won't see that line of demarcation of foundation where it begins and ends. Now where that light foundation and the foundation that meets my skin tone meet, kind of like where the line meets, I'm going to take the pointy part of the beauty sponge and dab and tap on top of that line repeatedly, and this is what's going to kind of blend out those two foundations and smear them into each other, so now you get more of an ombre effect and they're more blended, even though there's such a drastic contrast between the two foundations. But just by blending out that line of demarcation, it kind of takes away the foundation, and that line. Now with a lighter concealer, I'm going to apply this underneath the eyes just as my highlight, because now I'm going to go in and highlight and contour the face. And you don't have to do this. I tend to do this really because one, I like the look of highlight and contour, but I also like what it looks like on camera, just because there are certain tricks that I do like for the camera in order for it to look good or better on camera than maybe it would in real life. So right now I'm just going in with a lighter foundation and then blending that out with the beauty sponge. as I'm blending the highlight portion of the highlighting contour, I'm only using the pointy part of the sponge. The purpose is so that I can keep all of the light colors and blend all of the light colors of the foundation makeup with one part of the sponge and all the darker, deeper colors with the bottom part of the sponge. That way the colors don't get mixed and get ruddy, but they still stay vibrant. However, I switch between blending, using the light part of the blending sponge, and then flipping it over to use the darker part of the blending sponge. Now with actually an old foundation brush, I'm going to apply the contour part of the highlighting contour technique to the face, and I'm going to use a darker foundation instead of a darker concealer. And I really am just applying this along the forehead and along my cheekbones, and then blending it with the fat part of the beauty sponge. Now see right here where I'm switching the sponge back and forth between lighter and then darker right along that line. That is how I'm blending the two colors together, so that you have that kind of seamless ombre effect without putting too much highlight on top of the contour, and then vice versa, putting the contour on top of the highlight. So I just keep going until they're blended and I have that ombre effect where you can't see, like where the two colors meet, begin and end. They just kind of submerge into each other flawlessly. Now I'm using a small angle brush and a little bit of volumizing brow tint, and I'm applying this to my brows and really filling it out. I did a video separate of this on how to fill in for thin brows, and I think I'm gonna just lead you guys there to get a little bit more detail, because I think giving more detail in this video just might be a little too overwhelming. But if you want to know how to fill in the brow and just kind of shape it and add some definition to it using this product, I will link the video not only below but also on a card above as well. Now with this Ultimate Crease Brush, I'm going to go ahead and make small circles and buff this Cinnabar eyeshadow into the socket of my eye. So the socket of my eye is a little different than the quote-unquote crease of my eye. As you can see, like the crease is kind of like that eye fold on my eye there. But what I'm doing is I'm actually putting this above that crease area. And so basically if I were to take my finger and push it into my eye, if I can feel my brow bone and my eyeball, there's kind of a space between that area there, and that is what is called the socket of the eye. So I'm buffing that brown Cinnabar color into that area. Now looking straight into the mirror with my crease brush, I'm going to take this plum color and I'm going to outline the outer 2/3 of my socket, and just kind of going up into the socket and outlining it. And what I'm just doing is creating just a line first, and then I'm going to buff out that color a little bit later. But really right now I just want to outline the socket on both sides of the eye with that plum deep purple color. Now when I'm holding this crease brush vertically and going back over it, I'm blending out the color and just kind of blending out that initial line. And so with this crease brush, it doesn't have like a fluffy head on it or anything like that. So just holding it vertically up and down, I'm blending it. But when I turn it horizontal, just like I'm doing right here, is when I'm applying and intensifying the color. Now I'm going back to Lori Hogg's Ultimate Crease Brush, and I'm going to make small little circles within that plum color just to diffuse the color and blend it out a little bit on top of that brown that I applied originally. Now going back to that crease brush, I'm going to pick up this navy eyeshadow. Holding the brush horizontally, I'm going to carve out the crease just a little lower than that deep purple eyeshadow that I applied earlier.
Una sola vez conmigo hay que ser claro lo que quieres, bebé. Ya pasó tu primavera y el amor que se fue, pero las ganas de darle aumentan cada vez.
Now I'm going to go back to that Ultimate Crease Brush, and with small, tinier circles, I'm going to buff out this navy eyeshadow so that it kind of blends into the purple but doesn't completely cover the purple. Now with a concealer that matches my skin tone, I'm going to carve out my quote-unquote crease or do what's called a cut crease. So looking straight into the mirror, I'm going to slowly outline with my concealer wand. I'm going to outline the socket of my eye, just the bottom of it, and then fill in the rest of my top eyelid with this concealer. Now with my beauty sponge, I'm going in the lighter part of the beauty sponge, the pointy part, I'm going to gently pat out that concealer just to take off the kind of the top layer of it, or the excess oils and stuff like that from the concealer, and blend it out just a little bit before applying this matte brown eyeshadow on top. Now I'm going to go back to the crease brush and blend out, and whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to blend this against those two creases where that matte brown and the blue meet, just to soften the line between the two. Now with my flat eyeliner brush, I'm going to apply this black gel eyeliner all across my top lid. Now I'm also going to apply that black gel eyeliner into onto my bottom eyeline from the outer corner to the inner corner. Now to make the eyeline just a little darker and a little blacker, I'm going to go over it with liquid eyeliner pen, and I'm just going to go over that same exact line, holding the pen on its side and then dragging it all the way to the end of the eye.
Lo hicimos en la habitación, qué rico mami, pero en cosas del amor mucho fallaba. No veía nada, mi amor, algo esperaba. Te perdido.
Now I'm going to mascara both top eyelashes before applying false lashes on top.
Nos entendemos haciendo el amor. No hay nada más que eso, estamos perdidos, perdidos. Yo no sé, yeah, si fue algo más que el placer, si me amaste alguna vez, yeah, o si fuiste mi mujer. Por lo que yo he visto y lo que te gusta, amor, de tu vida yo no voy a hacer. Dame una noche, te voy a...
Once those false lashes are about 75% dry, I'm going to use these tweezers and kind of pinch the false lash and my lash together, just so to make sure that they're blended together and you can't really see space between the false lashes and the real lashes. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara to my bottom lashes.
Sé lo que siento, pero tú no. Nos entendemos haciendo el amor. No hay nada más que eso, estamos perdidos.
Now I'm going to apply mascara to my top lashes, the false lashes, once the glue has dried completely. Now I'm going to move back to the skin and start to bronze the skin. So I'm going to apply this golden copper cheek color. It's not a bronzer, it's actually a cheek color, but for my skin tone it works really, really well as a bronzer. So I'm in small little circles. I'm going to buff this along my forehead and onto my cheekbones as well, kind of like a little semicircle across my face, and then also buff this onto my chin. Lastly, onto the lips, I'm going to apply Spiced Ginger all over the lips, and then I'm going to pierce my lips together just to kind of blend out the lipstick and push it into the skin a little bit before applying this dark chocolate lip liner. After that, I'm going to apply a little bit more lipstick and then pierce my lips together in order to blend out that lip liner and soften it a little bit. And then I'm going to put Sun Blossoms lipstick all over, lip gloss all over the entire lip. I'm going to pierce my lips together just to blend out the lip gloss a little bit, but that also takes away a little bit of the shine, so I'm going to put another layer on top just to restore the shine back. And that's the look, you guys.